When we open up the New Testament, we should notice how the very first verse makes a grand attempt to introduce Jesus with a magnificent prophecy. The author of Matthew reveals how all of the generations from Abraham to King David were 14, and from David to the captivity in Babylon were another 14 generations. And from the captivity in Babylon to Jesus' birth were yet, you guessed it, another 14 generations. Matthew's author wants us to believe that with every 14 generations, a significant event happens in the history of Israel. He is trying to convince readers, first thing, that the story of Jesus is divine, and that these numbers prove it. Unfortunately, in order to make these sequences of 14 work, the author had to do a little editing. Matthew's genealogy drops out several names from the genealogy he copied out of 1 Chronicles. Fortunately for this author, at that time, very few people could read or even gain access to these books. His careful editing no doubt fooled many, except perhaps those pesky and clever Jews who could never be easily fooled. Matthew's genealogy also attempts to connect Jesus to a long line of prominent Jewish fathers. However, the book of Luke provides us with a genealogy as well, and it does not agree with Matthew's. Christian apologists have had to come up with an explanation for this sore problem. Most have simply claimed that one of these genealogies is Mary's. Scholars who are not die-hard Christians are not buying it, and find this apology not only humorous, but extremely problematic. Prior to the Jewish rabbinic period, long after Jesus, the Jews only recognized male descent, and accordingly both of these genealogies trace their lines through Joseph. Mary is never mentioned. There is no indication whatsoever that either genealogy is Mary's. Scholars note that if one were to be Mary's, the importance would be critical, and the author would certainly have made it clear so as to not confuse anybody. Regardless, this is not the only outstanding problem. Matthew's genealogy has 27 generations from David to Joseph, whereas Luke has 42, and they both disagree on who Joseph's father was. Matthew says he was Jacob, while Luke says he was Heli. Modern scholars such as Marcus Borg and John Dominic Crossan believe these genealogies are nothing more than theological inventions. Robert H. Gundry, who received a B.A. and B.D. degrees from Los Angeles Baptist College and Seminary and a Ph.D. from Manchester University, has noted that the names in Matthew connecting Joseph's grandfather to Zerubbabel are an outright fabrication, and that the author modified various names from 1 Chronicles. Not surprisingly, these problems trail all the way back to the earliest Christian churches. St. Augustine, around 400 AD, attempted to establish apologetics for this issue, claiming that he himself began doubting the veracity of the Gospels. The issue still stands as a problem today, only because there have been no apologetics reasonable enough to put the issue to rest. The important factor to understand here is that these authors could never have known their books would be combined with somebody else's 300 years later. They were never written in an effort to get all of these stories to agree. They were gathering common lore, copying stories, and individually building a case by adding or taking away as they saw fit. Hello, friends. Please help me grow this page by becoming a subscriber and clicking the support button right down below if you're watching on Facebook. Or go to patreon.com/Stairway to Reason and sign up, become a member for as little as $1 a month. And if you don't like subscribing and signing up for things, I have a PayPal where you can make reoccurring monthly donations for as little as $1. It's safe, fast, and super easy. Just ask for my PayPal link in the comments below. Thank you so much, my friends, and stay strong and wise.
I don't believe in masquerades. I don't believe that you're okay. I don't believe that God will save. Only you can solve your problems. I don't care what they sold you. They are not here to hold you